back tonight from orchestra, band, and chorus. Thank you all, students. The music makes the evening extra special. Two students from the Johns Creek High School class of 2011, considering coursework through all of their years in high school, have attained the two highest cumulative averages among their peers who were enrolled continuously with us at Johns Creek High School from the first day of fall semester. Both will be sharing words of wisdom with us this evening. At this time, I ask Austin Poole to join me at the podium. Present to you, salutatorian of the class of 2011, Mr. Austin Poole.
This is a bit of a hassle. Well, good evening. I'm Austin Poole, this year's salutatorian. And I don't know about all you, but after spending 2 years at 2 different high schools, it seems about time to be graduating. When I look back on our high school career, I break it up into before and after Johns Creek. It's impossible not to. It could just be me, but looking back at our freshman year selves, we would be shocked by the transformations. Perhaps the biggest change would be getting up the courage to change high schools halfway through. Everyone has to face those tough transitional periods, whether it's from middle school to high school to college, or college to the professional world. Most people, however, aren't comfortable with these situations and they try to avoid them. However, this did not stop us. This idea, I feel, defines our class. We all made a bold move when we left the familiar and entered a realm of uncertainty. And it's obvious that not many people have the guts necessary to make this jump. Hence our class of 185, compared to the 400 plus at Northview and Chattahoochee. Now, we all made the decision for different reasons. Maybe it was to play varsity sport, or to get a better class rank. Maybe to get a fresh start. Or maybe it was to avoid overly persistent resource officers. That one might have backfired. My point is, no one thought, things are perfect. I think I'm going to change high schools. Nope, no one said that. We all knew what we were getting into. We were leaving many of our friends, our teachers, our coaches. It was comparable to when we left middle school and ventured into high school. Except this time, we did it by choice. Everyone was a little nervous and worried about entering the unknown, but for some reason, that didn't stop all of us from making a bold maneuver. And I think perhaps the choice to change high schools halfway through may have impacted our college decisions. Maybe after having a positive experience at a new high school, some of us built up the courage to reconsider where we're looking at college. Maybe decide to venture outside the state and explore a different part of the Southeast. Maybe decided, hey, I don't like the Southeast at all, and went west or north. If you think about it, the Johns Creek class of 2011 is a recipe for disaster. Students come in from 2 rival high schools with long-established groups and friends. The Johns Creek class of 2011 could have been cliquey and hostile, but it wasn't. Instead, we melded together pretty well, and in the process, a language was born. other setting, calling someone Cheddar Bob would probably get you some strange stares. And responding to anything someone says with, yeah, that would definitely irritate the person you're talking to. At Johns Creek, however, use any of these terms, and the person you're talking to won't even flinch. Of course, there are many more words that our class came up with, but unfortunately, I can't say them over a loudspeaker. But if you're curious, just track down one of these blarts in a cap and gown, and they'll enlighten you. When we look back on our 2 years at Johns Creek, we'll remember different things. Whether it's big play Ray Barton's game-winning touchdown and rush on the field, or the chamber chorus's awesome performance at the baccalaureate service. We will also remember the teachers and faculty members that impacted us along the way. So I'd like to take this time to thank the administration for working so hard to get this school up and running. I would also like to thank Mr. Maley and Ms. Myers for helping me through their classes. I'm sure the long nights I spent trying to figure out what the heck magnetic flux of an electric field was, or wondering why something as evil as differential equations are allowed to exist in this earth, helped prepare me for the years ahead at Georgia Tech. I would also like to thank Ms. Umek, not only for helping me with this speech, but also for putting up with my goofy antics as my 9th grade language arts teacher. Finally, I think we should all thank our parents for being behind us every step of the way. So, Mom, Dad, thank you. And so in closing, let's take this courage and confidence we found at Johns Creek and head off to college. We'll make some new friends, definitely have some new experiences, and we'll meet up in 20 years, and we'll see what's up then.
At this time, I ask Brittany Liebnow to join me at the podium. Present to you our valedictorian for the class of 2011, Ms. Brittany Liebnow.
Parents, guests, teachers and faculty of Johns Creek High School, and most especially graduates of the class of 2011, welcome. Classmates, this evening is a defining event in your current life, as well as the life you will begin after you walk across the stage. For this, as they say, is the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. I assume you are all well aware of the implications of such an event. By getting to this point, you have made everyone who is invested in you extremely proud. Conversely, we must all by now realize the tremendous amounts of effort and care these people have given to you over the years. Take time to thank these people, for they are truly irreplaceable in helping make you the person you are today. I personally know that I would not be standing up here right now if it were not for my supportive little sister Haley, my dedicated father, and my family, friends, teachers, and coaches. I cannot thank you all enough. Also take time to appreciate all that you have fought through and now look back on having conquered it all. from pep rallies in which the freshmen completely outnumbered the seniors, to taking home several state championships in only our first year as a school, including cheerleading and cross country, we certainly exceeded expectations. Some of my personal favorite memories are balancing band and orchestra rehearsals, fencing and more, with Zoombox parties with Mr. Valentine, also known as D-Val, one-question exams with Dr. Reddick, and watching Grizzly Man with Mr. Glenn. While I know that you all like reminiscing about your best high school memories, trust me, I've unwillingly seen the hundreds of Facebook albums. I also know that you are probably more focused on what lies just beyond graduation. Because after you accept your diplomas and graduate beyond your high school years, you take the first few steps towards the person you will become. Although a future full of opportunities may beckon to you with open arms, I beseech you not to leave behind the lessons you learned in high school, like the fact that sleeping is highly overrated. Welcome your promising future, while gracefully accepting the value of these past few years, no matter how awkward or disposable they may seem. The future and the past are not mutually exclusive. From the words of William Faulkner, the past isn't dead, it's not even past yet. Even though you will soon be starting a new life, you have been permanently shaped by your past. Every footprint you leave, smile you give, or impression you make will have a little piece of that bright-eyed high school kid you are now. High school, then, is more than a transitional period. For although many, including the general academia, will tell you that high school is about preparing you for college, or the working world, or just the rest of your life in general, I look back on my high school years and realize that they prepared me more for becoming myself. For me, as for others, high school was a period of self-discovery, a time of mental growth in academics and maturity. Rather than merely learning a litany of calculus formulas or historical events, we as students acquired the ability to master the academics of generations. Stop for a second and think about all the information we are bombarded with. Our textbooks are slowly being replaced with computers, and our libraries with online databases. We have access to pretty much all of the information ever recorded, and of course, we seem to be expected to comprehend most of it. But through this obstacle, possibly the obstacle of our time, we learned that ingenuity often acts as a remedy for forgotten facts. And that ability to synthesize a plethora of information will provide us with the foundation to be successful in an ever-changing world with limitless boundaries. I remember in honors pre-calculus junior year, my teacher, Mr. Valentine, stopping a class of complaining students to give us a heart-to-heart on the value of education. Learning new things, no matter how specific, esoteric, or even useless they may seem, stretches our perspectives wider and equips our brains with the skills necessary to understand a more eclectic group of information. This turned out to be more useful than I ever could have imagined, because, as I later realized after taking classes with a variety of teachers incorporating numerous teaching techniques, adaptability is required for success. The world will not bend to your every move, and if you can anticipate this, you will achieve. And while I forgot those pre-calculus formulas as soon as my brain would physically allow it, no offense or anything to Mr. Valentine, I will always remember that heart-to-heart, because it incorporates much of what I will take from high school. Because just as in high school, the rest of your life will present you with ideas, information, and opportunities that will at first seem useless. Facebook, after all, is not just for pictures. And within the seconds after you navigate away from Facebook, you have access to a seemingly infinite quantity of data, ideas, art, people, stores, and programs. Rather than turning down these options in favor of the ideals you have always held, I challenge you to explore. And if you feel that your high school years had no true introspective qualities, I dare you to seek the path of self-discovery. Because I can only imagine how depressing it might be for people to get to the end of their lives and realize that they never really were themselves at all. As Henry Thoreau brilliantly wrote in Walden, I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Consider this carefully as you confront the inevitable peer pressure that will arise if you choose to color outside the lines. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that finding your identity will be smooth and easy. In fact, it may very well be harsh and come with more than a few regrets. But all the disappointments in the world could not be worse than that ultimate looming regret, ending your life realizing you never even began it. All of you have the potential to be yourselves, It just comes down to letting yourself find out who that is. And keep in mind that there will be no grand epiphany at the end of it all, no obnoxious congratulations pop-up, and no grand prize. You are a constant creation, a never-ending canvas drawn upon by an infinite amount of artists. Identity is a fluid and intangible thing, but when you are where you should be, you will feel it. I am confident that the 2011 grads I see before me have the potential for greatness. It will just come down to what you make of that potential. So thank you everyone for making high school rewarding, and I wish you all the best.